So, today's an exciting day. Cage cleaning day, once again. It's like every 3 or 4 days, it feels like. But the new baby girls have been here for, I don't know, like a week or so, maybe a little longer. But their little sniffles have gone away, and today's the day that they get to join the big cage. It's also cleaning day, so it works out perfect. So I am a little bit unorthodox with how I do my interviews. My first time meetings with my rats. For introductions, I typically just put them straight into the main cage after spending some cuddle time with them. That puts my scent all over them, and it kind of confuses the main colony a little bit. I will also take my larger, more dominant females a few days ahead of time and actually put them into the baby's cage where they're kind of on the back foot and they're just kind of exploring. So then when I put them back in there, it definitely reduces the likelihood of them being chased and bitten. And typically it just kind of turns into like a sniffing match. So I have the cage door open right now. I'm just sitting here watching them for a minute before I start cleaning. I put all of the babies in there. They seem to be doing all right. They're all exploring. I just literally put them directly on top of the group of rats while they were sleeping. They just crawled right in, and some of the rats woke up and some of them didn't, and my hope is they'll just kind of like, some of them will just settle in there and go back to sleep, and then their scent will kind of get rubbed onto them. And then again, obviously, I have to keep an eye on them, but for the most part, my girls are usually pretty accepting. I have 1 or 2 girls that are kind of bullies, but I introduce them to the babies first, earlier. So I'm recording this after the fact. These videos are, they're only about 20 minutes older than the recording, but, or the voice recording, but so the babies seem to be getting along for the most part. Petra is going after them a little bit here and there. I may have to remove her for a little bit and let the babies integrate into the rest of the colony. I know a lot of people, what they will typically do is put them together in a neutral place with neutral smells, and sometimes that works and they get along in that space, but the moment you put them into the cage, the problem just kind of comes back. So unless you're going to set up a whole new cage and new toys and new everything, that method doesn't really work any better than mine, at least from my experience. So what I like to do is, if I have new babies, they go into their quarantine cage, and after about a week or a week and a half, I will take the girls that are most likely to bully or dominate, and I will introduce them into the baby's cage. This typically makes it unlikely for them to actually go after the babies immediately, and we only do it for a couple minutes, supervised, and then I may do it like 3 or 4 times just to kind of get an idea of how they're going to interact with each other when it's in the reverse, because if Petra is bullying them before they're even in Petra's cage, it's going to be a lot more. So we did that a couple times, and things seemed alright. Petra was a little puffed up, but she wasn't going after them. And now in the main colony cage, she is bullying them a little bit. She's kind of pinning them down, but she's not biting them. She's not hurting them. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on that. In the event that she does persist in doing this, or it escalates at all, typically what I will do is take the aggressor out of the colony, because to me, I want to breed the rats that get along with each other the best, the ones that aren't going to be fighting, the ones that aren't going to be territorial, and aren't going to be, causing damage, and, sometimes they come after me when they get all upset. So That's typically how I handle it. And if 80% of the rats are getting along with the babies and 1 or 2 are not, then the 1 to 2 that are not getting along get removed. I will attempt to reintroduce them to the colony, but this basically puts them at the bottom of the totem pole, and it makes them more submissive. I also typically won't breed those ones. Petra is already retired, so that's not even on the table anymore. Same with Ebony. I've never bred her, and I don't plan on it. But yeah, with the Double Critter Nation freed up from the little girls, and Bad Boy Toby, now I can make it a double again instead of 2 individuals. All I did was turn the tray around, that way the opening was accessible. But now the 2 new surrendered boys, Toby and Fergus, or sorry, not Toby, Duncan and Fergus have been moved into it, and they seem to really enjoy the extra space. Toby has been in the main cage with the boys again. He has not been a repeat offender with his aggression. I'm really hoping that now that he has been kind of kicked down the totem pole a little bit and he's not the big boss boy anymore, that he, at least for a little while, will behave himself until his hormones kick in again, inevitably. But for now, we're on a roll. It's been, I don't know, 3 or 4 days now, and he hasn't started any fights. Speaking of bad boys, if you watched my educational video, Fergus was actually the one who was trying to get me. But he and I are on pretty good terms now. He's been here with me and his brother Duncan for, I don't know. I honestly, I forget how long it's been. Maybe about a month. Him and his brother are both bonded, but I am not able to introduce them to my colony, so I will be looking for a home for them. They have to go to a home where there will not be other male rats kept with them in the same cage. Even if they're little babies, I wouldn't introduce them to these boys. These boys are not bad boys, but they do seem like they do have a little bit of hormonal stuff going on. There was a lot of rubbing, and they do kind of tussle with each other a little bit, but they're bonded, so I'm not worried about them together. So, as you're watching me clean this cage, there's something I want to mention. If you're having issues with flies, pretty early on when I had a lot of rats and I was trying to cut corners, I realized that just emptying the litter pan is not enough. You also need to scrub it. The larvae, maggots, can sometimes be really tiny, and they just literally look like a little white speck. And they grow really fast. So if you just dump out your litter pan, even though it looks like it's clean, if there's any moisture in there at all, they can thrive. And it's just safer to just spray it down with some vinegar water. It'll kill them. And then you won't have to worry about it. But otherwise, you might be changing your litter pans regularly and still getting flies. I have had that happen in the past. But yeah, in other news, it's still hot and sticky. It's very much Satan's butthole down in the basement here. It's literally everything is swamp ass. You can't get away from it. I'm just sitting here and I'm sweaty. I'm not hot, I'm just sticky. Grimwald. Grimwald. Hello. Hi. It's okay. Little Grimwald has been sleeping in his food dish the last day. In an effort to kind of open him up a little bit, I had him meet one of my Norway rats. She's a juvenile that I actually got from a feed bin. She does nip me a little bit, but she likes other rats a lot, and she's quite young, so she's not threatening to him at all. And I wasn't able to record it, but she went right up to him and she just like cuddled up against him and she licked his face, and he just lifted his little head and looked at her and brexed, and then they just sat next to each other for the rest of the time I had them meet. Keep in mind, I am in no way telling you that it is a good idea to put your Norway rats with your roof rats. That's actually generally probably a terrible idea due to the size difference. I just happen to have a bunch of juvenile female Norway rats that are very gentle and sweet with other rats, and I'll be honest, if any of them was going to get hurt, it was going to be the feeder girl, not Grimwald, and I just couldn't see Grimwald doing that. He wouldn't even fight his own brother when he was being actively attacked. So it seemed like a slim risk, and I'll be honest, I was also willing to just put my hand in there to break it up if I had to. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.